Today, Cronies, we'll be talking about the most haunted McDonald's in the world, where you will get a shake, even if you order a Coke. The McDonald's that used to be in Lewiston, New York was by far the spookiest, creepiest of them all. Of course, there are several McD's locations that have also been reported to be genuinely haunted, and before getting into the one that existed in Lewiston, we will mention three of the most noteworthy. In Cuero, Texas, there is a McDonald's that sits on the corner of the main intersection in the town, right with Esplanade Street. And just like the one in Lewiston, the land and building in which the restaurant was constructed has a macabre history. Before the McD's was constructed, in 1960s the location used to be a gas station in which several tragedies occurred over the span of 10 years until finally the gas station closed. One of the most notorious calamities that occurred at the gas station was when a mother accidentally ran over and killed her own 4-year-old son after filling up her car. Subsequently, in the early 1980s, in that same spot, one afternoon a mechanic was trying to fix a car when mysteriously the vehicle lifter malfunctioned and crashed him underneath it. Later on, it was revealed that the deceased man was actually charged of the murder of his own daughter, who disappeared 10 years earlier, and that same day the police tried to serve the arrest warrant for the crime, only to find out he was bafflingly killed by the car hoist. These are just two of several extremely bizarre and strangely timed events that happened in the location that transcended to the McDonald's restaurant constructed years later, where numerous employees and clients reported that constant hearing of unaccountable sounds which made no sense, freakish happenings, toilets flushing by themselves, the feeling of a constant presence, strange shadows, and even the walk-in cooler switch off from the inside during the night. Additionally, we have the one in Idabel, Oklahoma, where on more than a few separate occasions, different maintenance workers who never knew each other and that clocked in at around 4 or 5 in the morning before the opening declared seeing what looked like a little girl entering the men's bathroom, only to find out, after checking the inside, there was no one there. One employee quit after she was mopping the women's restrooms after hours and heard a little girl laughing in one of the stalls, only to find out after checking it, it was completely empty. Two managers that had been working for more than 10 years in the restaurant stated on different occasions that when counting the money on the registers after closing, the atmosphere got extremely cold and the computers started to turn on and off on their own. There is also worth mentioning the one in Pueblo, Colorado, where one day the news reported that Pueblo police were left baffled with a frightening call after responding to a Southside business report where employees heard demonic sounds coming from a screaming woman. At 3:30 a.m., officers proceeded to the McDonald's near the intersection of Pueblo Boulevard and Northern Avenue, according to a tweet from Captain Tom Rommel, where employees told officers that aside from the screams, they heard someone speaking in a strange language and barking. They were so unnerved by the sounds they heard that they said they wouldn't be going back outside their building until after the sun came up, the captain wrote on Twitter. 3 officers searched the area but didn't come up with the source of the disturbance. I can't neglect mentioning briefly the famous McPorch, located in Vancouver, Canada, because of its creepy-looking exterior and history. This used to be a floating McDonald's restaurant that was abandoned and has been floating in the Burra Inlet in Vancouver since 1991. Although some people are sure to be haunted, this McDonald's is perceived in a gloomy perspective because of its worn out and decayed appearance. Now, getting back to the main course, the one in Lewiston, New York. The now vacant building is one of the oldest constructions of the western New York region. Its story goes back to the 1700s, when in the year 1719, the first structure was built by a French male. In 1824, with authorization by the local Indian tribe, Frontier House was built as the best region hotel and stagecoach. It had a long list of famous celebrities that stayed in it, like President William McKinley, Charles Dickens, and Mark Twain, among many others. After that, Frontier House later became a private home, then a boarding house for local factory workers, and then a museum of local history. It wasn't until the year 1975, when a fire damaged the building, that it was leased to the fast food legend McDonald's. And you might be wondering, how did it become the most haunted McDonald's in the world? Well, back in the day, when it still was known as Frontier House and Hotel, William Morgan, an anti-Mason, had a decisive disagreement with the Niagara County Freemason that made him split, not before threatening to reveal an exposé with all the Masonic secrets. After being in jail for a period of time, he disappeared from the face of the earth as soon as he was released. And the word says that he was murdered by the Mason group and his corpse was concealed within the walls of the hotel. It wasn't long before employees and guests of the hotel started to report countless happenings of the sinister and paranormal kind. Inexplicable wailing and laments all through the night, doors and windows opening and closing when no one was near them, loud banging after hours, shadows of people that emerged in empty rooms. The list went on without end, even after the strange fire that took place afterwards, when the repair team labored on the building in 1977 to develop what would be the McDonald's. They reported tools and equipment that mysteriously vanished and silhouettes that seemed to walk through the empty building. Reporter Buck Wolf of ABC News once did a report on the McDonald's, and in October 2002, when published, he stated that the restaurant manager claimed to actually had encountered the ghost of William Morgan. One maintenance worker reported hearing strange voices and was so frightened by the diverse manifestations that he decided to quit. Today, Cronies, Frontier House stands empty, and the Golden Arch long gone.